All right. So I had a back and forth conversation with Clif Grant on my animal welfare video. And the latest comment from him was an example or a hypothetical. He says, so we just got into a time machine and we are two Allied commanders who just stumbled upon Nazi death camp in Poland and are about to meet the SS commander of the camp to discuss what happens next. And then he says, I'm referring to himself. I'm going to ask that the killing stops and the prisoners are liberated. And you, referring to me, you are going to tell them to continue killing if they must, but give the prisoners a comfortable bed each. Okay, so here's the thing. If there are good reasons for focusing on abolition and not welfare, this is not the reason. The one that Cliff is giving here. This is absolutely not the reason. There might be a couple of reasons. I don't think those reasons are right, but they could be right, and there are some possible reasons. This is some form of dishonesty, I think, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a lack of understanding. I don't know. But no, so here's the problem. It's not as simple as what this is describing. It's not as simple as if two of us went to an area where people are being killed and one says, please stop killing everybody, and the other says, hey, you can do it if you want, but just give them good welfare. No. So me and Cliff both want animal liberation. We want animals to not be pointlessly killed, harmed, any of this stuff, and this just to stop happening. And we both constantly ask people all the time to stop. And if there was a way to directly just ask your government to stop it, something like that would take place. But that hasn't made the world vegan. That so my point is that we try this, we try that. If there's a bunch of things that we want to be illegal, like the idea of factory farming, anything within factory farming, the idea of that being legal, we don't want. And so we could want complete animal liberation, but we could also have our main focuses be elsewhere. So yeah, if we went in this hypothetical and we're talking to some Nazis, and he could say, free the prisoners, and then they say no, then yes, the best thing for me to say is, can we give them comfortable beds? If somebody's going to be a prisoner and they're going to be executed and they have 7 days left to live, give them a nice bed. Give them 7 days worth of good meals. Yeah. All the things that would be considered welfarism. Do those things. I can't imagine how anybody would not want to do those things. Like you would have to be not understanding it, or you'd have to think that there's a reason why doing a good act could cause to a worse outcome, and it's possible. That is a possible thing. I don't see it as a likely thing. Just imagine somebody gets sentenced to death, even if it's for good reason, and they're on death row and they get one last good meal or something. That's probably a good thing. Give them a good meal. Now it's more complicated to compare it to something like that, because we might view that they don't deserve it because they're bad people or whatever. But if you just took any kind of a situation, you just take anything happening in some country where you think the act is wrong, and making it better, it is better. Like right now, there's slavery all over the world. There's many countries that have all kinds of slavery. I can't remember the numbers, but I think it's well into the millions of slaves still exist. If you went into one of those countries and made it to where they had, let's say that the slavery was going to exist for like the next 1,000 years or something, then it would be amazing if we made it illegal to cut the hands off of slaves as a punishment or something like that. Any amount of good you can do is good. Do the good. If you have a strong, good evidenced reason to believe that an act of good will cause more harm in the long run, then don't do the good. Like, if you hung a piece of food from a rope and a stick over a cliff, and animal was going to go eat that food, but then it was going to fall to its death, then I guess you could call you're giving that food to the animal is a good, but it's going to lead to a bad thing. Like there's probably some rare cases where a good can lead to a bad thing, but making it illegal to hurt animals likely is just a good and not a bad. So anyways, Cliff, if you ever are willing to talk, let me know. Hop on here and let's do it. Okay. If you like it, click like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.